Hello everyone and welcome. This is Lisa. I've been away for a few months because I was sick, but I'm getting back into the swing of things now. Today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite sets, Sunshine and Rainbows. It is retiring the 31st, which is just about a week, but I wanted to do this video anyway. This set creates such happy, fun cards. They just speak out to me happiness. You can also use our envelope punch board and make coordinating envelopes that make it even happier. Okay, this is the set that we have. They coordinate together. The stamp set is called Sunshine and Rainbows, and the framelits is called the Rainbow Builder Framelits. You can buy these individually or you can buy them together in a bundle and save 10%. Or the framelits themselves are on sale right now for $21, so that's a good deal. And then you can use any sentiments or other stamps that you may have. I'd like to share one tip with you I used a Sharpie marker and went ahead and numbered the rainbow, what do I want to say here? The rainbow framelits in order that they go. This just helps me when I'm grabbing and in a hurry. This software is new to me and I'm doing a voiceover and that's new to me, so please bear with me. I've put down my magnetic platform and a clear cutting sheet. This is a piece of real red. I'm using the number 1 die, which is the largest. Next, I'm using a piece of pumpkin pie and the second largest die. This is a great way to use up your scraps. And in case you forget the way that, or the order that a rainbow goes in, this little acronym, Roy G. Biv, is very helpful. It stands for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And this last one I'm putting on here is green, and I think that's all I can get on for this pass through. I'll do the same with the remaining 3. So I've passed those through my Big Shot, and now I'm using my piece of Soft Sky, and I'm also using a piece of Whisper White that is 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And I've put my largest die down, and I'm just making a little mark so I know where to place it when I'm cutting it in my Big Shot. You can eyeball this if you want, but some of us have to be precise. So then I'm taking the second piece, which is 5 1/4 by 2 1/2, a little shorter, and I'm lining that up about where I want it and making a mark. And then I'll go ahead and pass these through my Big Shot. Okay, so now we have all the pieces cut out, all of our clouds and our rainbow. And this thing that I have here is a laminated sheet of grid paper, which is something I'll show you in a later video with the Stamparatus. Okay, we're going to come in here with some Soft Sky, which is also a retiring color. I will also in the PDF and on my blog suggest some alternate colors that will look just as good. Now I'm going ahead and sponging the edges with some Soft Sky, just lightly doing it. You can use a sponge dauber for this if you'd like. I just prefer a sponge. So I'm going to put the Soft Sky around all of the cloud pieces. This just adds nice dimension and looks really neat. And now I'm using some Daffodil Delight for our little sun piece. Doing the same thing, just sponging around the edges. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and add our tallest piece. I'm going to put some snail adhesive on the back, and in a second you're going to see me make a goof. I'm putting the snail down, and I've accidentally got a strip of it on my background piece. No worries, we can fix that just as easy. You can rub it off with your finger, that works pretty good sometimes. Or you can use an adhesive remover. Stampin' Up! Used to carry these, I don't know why they don't anymore, but they're easily obtainable. I got mine at an arts and crafts store. So I'm off camera a little here, but what I'm doing is I'm taking this piece and I'm lining it up with the bottom of the piece of the soft sky. And I'm going ahead and herring that down. I'm going to be using some of the Tombow multi-glue. I'm a terrible gluer, so I've gone ahead and filled a quill tip bottle because they're also easily obtainable. You can get them just about anywhere, Amazon, wherever. And I'm going to take the first one. This is the real red piece, and I'm going to add a bead of glue around. And as you can see, even with this tiny tip bottle, I still get too much on there. I did warn you that I was a terrible gluer. So I have this, and I'm going to place it down, just kind of eyeballing where I think it should go. Pressing it down lightly. Next, I'm grabbing my pumpkin pie piece. I'm using these craft scissors because I cannot hold on to a thing without them. Did I say craft scissors? I meant craft tweezers. Okay, so I have a little glue seeping out, but that's okay. Let me bring this up so you can see it. See, there it is. But that's okay. We don't need to wipe it off or scrape it off or anything because the Tombow glue dries completely clear and matte, so you'll never know. See? Can't even see it. Now I realize that the edges of the rainbow are uneven, but that's okay. We're going to hide those. So I'm adding the second piece of the clouds, the shortest piece, and you'll see here that I am lining it up again with the bottom. Just like so. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to do some heat embossing, so let me get ready for that. Bring in my heat tool. And I'm using my Embossing Buddy anti-static powder tool. This keeps the fingerprints and grease and whatnot off of your cardstock so your embossing powder doesn't stick where you don't want it to. I'm grabbing one of the greetings from the Sunshine and Rainbows set. And I'm bringing in the Stamparatus, which is a new tool. You'll be able to purchase this June 1st out of the new catalog. You guys will love the new catalog. There are so many things in there. Your wish list is going to be miles long. At least I know mine is. Okay, so I'm bringing in this. The Stamparatus is a stamp positioning tool. It's very easy to use and it does many, many things. So I'm bringing in my piece here and lining it up, just sort of butting it up to the top of the Stamparatus. I've put the strong magnet on the one side. It comes with two, but I really only need one because they are very strong. So I'm sort of just situating my greeting here where I think I want it, except that I made a boo-boo. I put it upside down. So when you press on it, normally your stamp will stick to the window of the Stamparatus. But I'm going about my business and I don't even notice this until I get ready. Now I see what I've done wrong, so I have to flip it over. Make sure that the right or the flat side is up. So let me resituate this. And once again, I'll bring the door down. And there we go. That's the correct way to do it. So I'm using Pacific Point, which is a dye ink, but it stays wet for a little while, so you can still emboss with it. And I'm showing you here that I have a hot mess of ink all over the place, but that's okay. It's not going to affect your project at all. Just the way it's designed, it's not going to come down and touch your project. So I'm inking it up once again, bringing it down. So now it's super juicy. I'm going to pull it out of the Stamparatus, move that aside, and I'm going to bring in some clear embossing powder. This storage design is by Jennifer McGuire, who is a storage genius. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm adding the powder and just tapping it off. Moving my powder out of the way. And I'm going to bring in my heat tool and turn it on and let it run for a few seconds. You want to be sure that your heat tool is good and hot before you take it to your project. Okay, so here we go. You want to hold it in place until the embossing powder melts. Don't wave it around. It doesn't work very well if you do that. But see, you can see that it's darkening and turning, and it's just like magic. I have to say that heat embossing is one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so now we're going to add a few clouds and we're going to cover up that uneven rainbow. The glue's rolled off into my lap, that's why I put it up there, but I'm just using snail adhesive to adhere these clouds. We'll put one there. And then I'm going to grab another one and cover up the other side of that. Sometimes it's good to put things a little uneven, just kind of haphazard. After all, clouds are clouds and they go where they want to go. So I'm adding a couple of dimensionals to this. I love dimensionals. They add so much to the card. Okay, so I'm placing this on here. That looks about good. So that's going to go there. I'm also going to pop my little sun up on a dimensional. And I'm not sure where I want it to go. I've decided here on the right side. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to take the this piece and we're going to add it to a piece of Pacific Point. But first, let me tell you that the card base is a piece of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 11. It is cut at 4 1/4, and I have scored it at 5.5 to make it a side folding card. All these dimensions will be on my blog in the PDF, so don't worry about trying to write things down and keep up. So since this is such a tight squeeze and there's not very much of an outline, I'm going to use some glue to adhere it to the Pacific Point piece of cardstock, just so I have a little wiggle room. And as I put it down, I can get it nice and even and move it around a little bit. But the glue dries fairly quickly, but it still gives you plenty of time to do what you need to do. And you don't need a lot because this is a super strong adhesive. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just use the snail adhesive and adhere it to the card base. And we are done. I hope you like this video. I really am glad that you joined me today. If you do like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe below. There's my thumbs up and there's my subscribe below, the red button. And please leave any comments. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.